Viz 34, and I'm going to give my review of the Avett Brothers. But back home he'll always run to sweet Melissa. Oh, that's the Allman Brothers. Cut. Viz 34, and today I'm going to review my latest concert. I saw the Avett Brothers. Listen to the music. Oh, that's the Doobie Brothers. Cut. It's your boy Viz 34, and today I'm going to give a review of the Avett Brothers show I went to at the Westville Music Bowl in New Haven, Connecticut. So I just want to walk you through my previous two shows for the Avett Brothers. My first show was at University of Connecticut, Storrs, Connecticut, at the Jorgensen Center for the Performing Arts. This was an awesome introduction to everything they could do. They're playing a little acoustic trio. Then they're going to full band rock and roll. It was an awesome show. It made me want to go back to chase this band and their setlist variety, which I love about certain bands. So I then went to Wallingford the day before Closer Than Together came out at the Oakdale. We heard a band that was experimenting. It was a controversial album, but they still had some classic tunes. They had some deep cuts put in there. I finally heard Shame. Obviously, it was on my second show, but I love Shame. It's a top 3 song for me from this band. I love the wordplay. I love the orchestration of the music in this song, and it was awesome. I finally got to see my second show, and then the pandemic hit. So this will be my last show until after 2020, and here we are at my Westville show that I went to last night. The energy of this Avett Brothers show in New Haven was on a whole different level than my first two shows. Uniquely enough, my first two shows were indoor shows. This was my first one outside, okay? And all 3 times I was in the lower level or front of the venue. But for the first show at UConn, Storrs, Jorgensen, right? That was more of a crowd of older people from the community in the upper decks who appreciated this music they were playing, but were just quieter. You know, they're not as riled up. There was no tailgating. Same thing with my second show at the Oakdale in Wallingford, another October show, a year after my UConn show. And again, no tailgating, a cold, rainy night. And the energy at the front was crazy, but at the back, people were sitting down. So when you go from those two shows that have a different type of audience, and then you go outside and there's tailgating, and it was a hot day. It was like 93 degrees in the New Haven area that day. So a lot of people were excited. A lot of people were tailgating and having a great time, and they got pumped up for this show. So that was really the thing that stood out to me, is this was the best Avett Brothers crowd energy-wise that I had experienced. It is not to say that the fans who sat down those first 2 shows were horrible fans. They just taken the show differently. I know people who have gone to Europe, people who have gone out to the West Coast, and sometimes a laid-back crowd may not get the energy, but they really appreciate the music. Everyone takes in music differently. But hey, that crowd was lit last night when I went, and I enjoyed that part of it. So Tanya Elizabeth is the fiddle player for the touring Avett Brothers crew, and I never had heard her before at a live show. My first 2 shows indoors and also fiddleless, and I love a good fiddle, and she added another dimension to this band, and Joe and her had some awesome string melodies and harmonies that made the songs even better than some of the same songs I heard my first 2 shows. Hearing them last night at New Haven's Westville Music Bowl, it was even better with that fiddle. She was so tied in to the chemistry of everyone else, and it was like she had been with the band since day one. That's how great she sounded. That's how great she combined her talents with the rest of the band. One of the things with fiddle is anyone can play fiddle. Anyone can play classical instruments. But to be able to go on a tour with a band like the Avett Brothers, or to jam out with Phil Lesh and Friends, or any jam band, it takes a whole new dimension of energy and music awareness to do it. Because you can't just do your textbook, music degree type playing. You have to have skills to listen a little bit, to be able to adjust with the different genre changes, and Tanya did that. She's a musical prodigy from what I read up on, and she still got it. All right, so it's amazing to be able to experience her with the rest of the band. Great job, Tanya. Thank you for giving me another element to my first show with a fiddle for the Avett Brothers. So I love how Seth Avett can play the electric guitar. All three of the shows I've been to, he has done his thing. I saw the two Marshall amps and a Fender's, looks like a Blues Junior, there on stage, and it looked like he was rocking out the Marshalls with the Les Paul, maybe a Gibson. I couldn't see the top. I don't think it was the Epiphone. I think it was a Gibson Les Paul. But it's always great to see. I think what's great about the Avett Brothers is I grew up on nu metal, alt rock, regular rock, classic rock, hip hop, R&B. I love when an act can transfer across genres like the Avett Brothers do, and Seth rocking out, playing some nice electric guitar riffs, but having that foundation of coming from a family that plays country, folk, and bluegrass music. You get the various types of sounds you get out of this band. Even them going to a trio type, three-piece ensemble, and then going back to the full band and going to alt rock, and even some of the spoken word type lyrics that you see with this band. That's my favorite thing about the Avett Brothers. That's my favorite thing about the bands that really I hold to high regard, whether it be the Grateful Dead, Fish, Dave Matthews Band, right? The bands that can cross genres and do a bunch of different things all in the same show and really give you more for the money you pay for concert tickets, because let's be honest, concert tickets are not cheap. So you might as well be entertained across genres and be able to see the versatility of a great band like the Avett Brothers. So let's talk show flow, because your boy Concertist 34 loves setlist deep diving. I don't know a lot about the trends of Avett Brothers. I have listened to some stuff on YouTube, like full shows. I have gone to 3 shows. But I do think it's dope that Head Full of Doubt, Road Full of Promise is at the 3 spot. That's a song that I just kind of remember being later in sets when it's been played. Also, same thing with Laundry Room, being at the 8 spot of a 26 song show, including the encore. I love how it's a little bit earlier, and those 2 songs being at the beginning gives you a little diversity. I love these bands like Avett Brothers. I think of John Mayer, Dave Matthews Band. They don't necessarily go full jam band with their set list, but they do mix up their set list, and it makes you want to chase 3 or 4 or 5 shows. February 7 was not played, but if I had more time to follow this band around, I would go to the next show. I kind of wish I went to the Coopertown shows at I'm Gang Brewery, but I was busy that weekend with Goose. But if I could have gone to all 3 of those shows, chasing those songs throughout the 3 shows would have been dope. I love Murder in the City at the E1 spot. I love No Hard Feelings sandwiching Gimme Peace in the perfect space in that 4-song encore. Really dope. I love how they had 4 songs in the encore. You got a lot of music at that end there, but overall I love the show flow. There was a little bit of everything in this set, and the main set, and then in the encore. So I thought that was a beautiful thing. In these times, No Hard Feelings is just a song that got me through the pandemic, amongst other songs. I get emotional thinking about the pandemic, and that was one of the songs I was listening to as I lost a loved one, an elder in my family, and I went through just trying to figure out how I could help others when I couldn't go to people's house. I couldn't go see my grandmother because we were all quarantined and afraid of what this virus is going to do. I couldn't see my grandfather and my other grandmother and my parents. I really miss seeing everyone, in No Hard Feelings, and just everything that's going on in the world, all the disagreements we have about how the world should be run. This idea, I have no enemies. As all the ups and downs of life, if I can just walk away, I have no enemies. Whatever fights, whatever, I'm letting it go. It's the ultimate message. And the best thing about the Avett Brothers, they are about joy, fighting for joy. This world is horrible right now. Between what happened to those innocent kids in Texas, to the elder black people in Buffalo, just trying to go grocery shopping. But ultimately, the message of the Avett Brothers is you have to choose joy. You can stand up for what you believe in. You can defend those who are being mistreated, but you have to choose joy. You have to heal yourself, right? And at the end of the day, when your life is over, you're gone, right? And their song, right? Die, 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 right? Or like, that's it. You're gone, but make the most of every single day. That is their message. That message is powerful to me right now because we can talk about our beliefs politically or economically, but ultimately, if you choose joy every day, if you fight through adversity, the biggest winners are losers. When you lose, you learn how to win, and that is the message of this band. And this was a therapy session for me just to be happy and experience the various points of songwriting, from happy to sad to new and old and covers. This was a great show. I'm glad I went. I'm blessed to have a pit ticket and to be 1.5 bodies away from the band, like right by the rail, kind of angled in there, crunched in, right? A beautiful view I had, and I'm blessed to have had it. But I really appreciate the Avett Brothers and what they brought to New Haven, Connecticut. And I look forward to them coming back to Connecticut, right? This was, I think, their 12th show in Connecticut. And I hope that they keep coming back for many, many more shows. They're a great band with a great message and a great blend of musical talent. And if they're in your area, strongly recommend it. Just get in the door and see this awesome band. See how they rock out. So there you have it. That's my thoughts and opinions and emotions going through this awesome show. Avett Brothers, May 31st, 2022 at the Westville Music Bowl. And if you love this review, check out some other content. I just went to a Goose show last Friday at this awesome venue. I'm a huge Dave Matthews Band fan. You'll see tons of content on there. I love a little bit of hip hop and R&B. There's a little bit on this YouTube channel. And I continue to have a passion to share my experiences from concerts. You'll see full videos. I take times where I go through and watch full parts of a show and record it. And then sometimes I put my phone away and look up at the stage. Like, no hard feelings for this show. Phone was in my pocket. I'm singing. I'm emotionally connected. So I try to share part of the show with you guys who may not be able to make it, may not be able to afford it, or are thinking about going to the show. And the other part of that, my phone is in my pocket and I'm just a fan, enjoying and taking in every moment. It's your boy ConcertViz34. You can subscribe to my channel, YouTube, ConcertViz34, Instagram, and Twitter. Also, ConcertViz34. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if the Avett Brothers are watching, thank you guys so much. Your music means so much to me. I've only been to 3 shows, but this music that you make helped me through the pandemic, through the hardest parts of 2020 and even into early parts of 2021. Your music was on playlists along with other inspirational music that helped me through the pandemic. It's your boy ConcertViz34. Definitely like, comment, subscribe. Peace.